But yeah, so let's get going. Thank you everyone for joining. It's great to have you here. This is our third community call. Today it's being hosted by myself, Geeny, and Diego from the team at Aligned. And we have two great guests with us today. We have Bartes and Pia, who are both at Herodotus. We brought them today because they built a really cool project at the Lambda Hackweek 2 hackathon in Brussels, which we had a bunch of bounties for. They built something really cool for Aligned, and we wanted to invite them to give them a chance to talk about what they built. Maybe let you guys ask some questions. This is very relevant because we just announced our own hackathon a couple days ago, which we'll be talking about during this call. So with that, thank you all for joining, and I guess we'll get started with the agenda. Yeah, so we're going to start off. I'll start off by giving some updates about just like Aligned Core, some of the recent news that's been happening, some things to tell you all about. So an exciting thing I'll say is that we are looking at launching our mainnet by the end of the month. And this is really important for one thing that's on the slide here. This is enabling the bridge between Mina and Ethereum to launch. And clearly this is something that the Mina community is very excited about, and the markets too, because this is really connecting two important ecosystems. There's a lot of cool ZK stuff that can be done with Mina, and now there will soon be a bridge, thanks to Aligned, between Mina and Ethereum. So that's one big update that we're super excited about. We've also been busy on other fronts, trying to get more partnerships to show off the things we can do using Aligned. So I think, let's see, is it 29 partnerships, Geeny? Sorry, we got a next slide. Yeah. So we've announced a few partnerships recently. We have 29 announced, and this is a lot of projects that'll actually use Aligned for verification, as well as strategic partnerships for different things we want to build and collaborate on with different projects. So again, if anybody wants to talk about that, please reach out to us. We announced a partnership with Nexus. Go back one. ZK VM, which if you guys aren't familiar with ZK VMs, basically this is a virtual machine that lets you execute arbitrary Rust code, prove it, and then have that verified on-chain. And this really expands the possibilities for what you can build with ZK. This is really cool. And I wanted to ask Diego to maybe talk about why we're super excited about working with Nexus and other ZK VMs and what's special about them.
Yeah, thanks, Boris. So the good thing about ZK VMs is that you can just focus on writing code, and then you feed it to the VM, and the VM generates the proof. You may be familiar with other VMs that are Start-based, but Nexus decided to take a different approach. They decided to use elliptic curves and folding-based and accumulation schemes to build their VM. That gives us the advantage of having a different proof system with other security options, maybe a different proof size, and also it has some advantages that, for example, it may use less memory than other VMs. Of course, this gives you another advantage, which is having a different proof system that you can use. So you could feed your code to two different VMs, Nexus and one other. And so you have two different proofs for the same program. And of course, this enables, for example, easy multi-proving, which is something really good. And of course, you can verify those proofs cheaply in Aligned. So it's a really nice design. It has different design choices that will affect a bit speed, memory consumption, and proof size. But I think it's good to have another player, and we are super excited to see all the new capabilities that they will have, and they are moving really, really fast.
Thank you, Diego. Yeah, the ZK space is moving super quickly. And something that we hope to do through these community calls and also our community here on Discord in general is help teach everybody more about this and help you see the possibilities for what can be built using ZK, using Aligned. So if that's something you guys are into, please talk about it in the chat, in the different channels here on Discord. We would like to help you learn, and that's something we'll be doing a lot more of going forward. So there's a little bit of alpha on this slide, which is that we're announcing in, I think, 2 hours, our partnership with Firma. They just came out of stealth recently. This is just something to stay tuned about. In summary, they are like a prover network, prover marketplace, helping aggregate demand for proof generation with the entities that actually generate the proofs, the compute resources. So we're going to be working with them to make sure that proofs generated through their system can very easily be verified on Ethereum through Aligned at very low cost, very quickly, all that good stuff. So this is one we're excited about. The founder used to be the lead cryptographer at ON Labs, the company that develops the Mina blockchain. So this is something we're excited about, and you heard about it here first. And I guess then this brings us to our hackathon, which we announced a couple days ago and we're super, super excited about. And I'm going to pass the mic to Geeny to tell you all more about it.
Hi, everyone. I'll be telling a bit more about the hackathon, and super excited to see some of the builders here, and make sure to wait until the end. So we'll give people a chance to explain their ideas if they already started building something, and maybe ask some questions to Diego and the team. So we've announced the Aligned Builders Hackathon, a virtual hackathon with up to 50,000 USD in prizes. It's very important that we create direct communication with all the builders, and that you join the groups to ask any type of question you have. And even if you don't have a team and have an idea, we encourage you to share it with us so we can maybe help you find a team or complete your idea, provide any type of technical assistance to get people to build cool apps. So even if you're like not confident with some things, we urge you to reach out to me and Boris or somebody from the builders team, and our team will be helping you. We're eager to help you all. And I also would like to emphasize that there will be ongoing support and incentives for people who are capable of delivering products. We want to one-on-one create relationship with these people and help them even after the hackathon process for other things they want to build or continuing the things they've been building. We're going to make more announcements about the mainnet and the incentives deployment, like points programs and quests and other type of activities that we'll announce with the incentivized mainnet. So it's this hackathon is basically a huge opportunity to also participate in this program. So apps that graduate to mainnet could be rewarded with other type of incentives, and the whole thing could be connected to the points program later on. So yeah, we want to help projects launch and want to work with teams that are building and aligned and showing what cool things that can be done with ZK. Other than that, we don't have certain categories. Like, we want to give people as much freedom as possible. We don't want to limit people's ideas to certain categories. So you guys could build anything, and the prize pools will change according to the difficulty of what was built, the sizes of the teams, and other factors. I will be posting the Mirror blog in the general channel because I had a problem posting it here, but make sure to reach out to us if you also have any questions. The three categories are just put there to show some examples to you guys, which we named as new applications, which are kind of like DeFi, P2P wallets, DEXs, order books, and other type of DeFi primitives. Single player games, anything simple like Tetris, Pac-Man, Space Invaders, or like, unless you want to run Doom using Aligned, that's also a interesting running other games and connecting them to Aligned to verify proofs and things like that. The second category is enhancing Aligned's capabilities, which are SDKs that can be written in Go or TypeScript. We don't have a Go SDK yet, or integration to other builder tools like scaffold ETH, we are promoting the use of it and think it will be interesting to integrate aligned into other builder tools. If you are not familiar with ETH Scaffold, it's a tool made by Biddlegiddle and Austin Griffith, which basically helps you build Ethereum dApps and smart contracts in an easy way. It's a great tool, and I'll be also posting more information about that in our hackathon channel. So please check the updates there. And the third example category is infrastructure, which are more heavyweight dApps like rollups and bridges. But these are only some ideas. You can definitely build whatever you want. And if you need any guidance or assistance, make sure to reach us out. Also this week or early next week, we'll be announcing a panel of judges and like mentors that can help you throughout the process. And we'll also be having spaces and calls with these groups of judges. So calls to action. We call all of you to action, and make sure to check out all the links I'll be sharing from the hackathon group. Now it's time to ask some questions to our guests. So I will let Boris take it over. Yeah.
Thank you, Geeny. Yeah. Guys, the hackathon is something we're really excited about. Like, even something like, again, I wanted to just repeat one specific point, which is like these single player games running in a ZK VM, like Tetris or Flappy Bird or something, because building this, running in the ZK VM, this lets us have a verifiable on-chain leaderboard that people can see on Ethereum. Like, nobody cheated, you know, it's like there's no central source of information except for Ethereum for like the high scores for these games. So this is the kind of thing, like, we would love to see people build this, because this will let people actually interact with the line on mainnet, generate proofs, send proofs, and actually get put on a leaderboard. So any game developers here, talk to us. We'd like to help you build something like this. So in terms of hackathons, I already introduced Bartolomeo and Pia, who are our guests from Herodotus, who joined us today. And we wanted to bring them here today to talk about their project that they put together for the Lambda Hackweek 2. And they won one of our bounties on, there was a sort of like infrastructure for Aligned, like expanding Aligned's capabilities. And what they did was something very technical. I'll let them explain it a little more than my sort of brief intro. But they created a Rust verifier, or rather they wrote a verifier in Rust for the Cairo VM, which is used by Starknet. This is cool because it basically allows Aligned to verify Stark proofs generated by or generated from the Stone prover for the Cairo VM, which really just expands the possibilities for the kinds of stuff you can use Aligned for. We thought this was an incredible project. They got a bounty, and I wanted to give you guys a chance to talk a little bit more about it and share your experiences hacking on Aligned. Oh, we lost Geeny. Maybe your connection's bad, but it's okay. We don't need slides for this. But maybe we'll just start with hearing a bit about your guys' background and Herodotus and sort of like why you decided to build this project.
Yeah. Pia, can you introduce the Herodotus?
Yeah. Sure. So maybe I can start first. My name is Pia. I work in Herodotus with Bartek, and we've been actually working on the product called Herodotus Data Processor, which is kind of like a product that have a data access and then computation in fully like sound way, which means like we have to basically generate the proof of data inclusion of what kind of data that I want to like access. Plus, you also need to like make a proof of every like computation that user wants to like code with it. And for that, we use the proving scheme as a Cairo VM. So that means we already have a Cairo like circuit, the Cairo program for verifying the Merkle mountain range, which is kind of like we get the block cache from it, and then from that we also verify the state root, state trie, or the the state trial of the storage or like account, whether user wants to like access something. So that means we also have a like MPT circuit with it. And then in the middle, we also have a like product that is bootloading this kind of arbitrary like circuit to run it. That means we also have supporting the verifiable computation. Yeah, this is pretty cool. And currently, because we are using the Sharp as a prover, so it means that Sharp that is kind of wrapping the stone, which verifies on the Ethereum L1. So that's why we are, after we do all this kind of data access plus computation, the result will be committed on the L1 smart contract, the Ethereum smart contract. So this is the only path that we allowed to access before. But as we have a integrity verifier, which is Cairo 1 verifier implementation that is deployed on the Starknet as a smart contract. And basically, it also verifies some proof. So that means we can also settle the Stark proof to the Starknet L2 so that user can access the data on top of there. Yeah, so like basically, the Rust verifier idea is also kind of what like could also think the in this context like, oh, what if then we verify this in the off chain? Then we could do something more like scalable, like connecting to the align layer, verifying on the client side. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Yeah, Bartek, you wanna add more and introduce?
Yeah. So yeah, as you see, we are like pretty heavily based in Cairo VM, and yeah, we did the integrity verifier that is like Stark verifier in Cairo 1 that was already mentioned. But the Cairo 1 language, you can like run this in the command line via the, let's say, Rust runner. You can do it. But it's like adding a little bit overhead. It's like good to run this deploy this as a smart contract on Starknet, but yeah, what was missing is kind of like let's port this functionality to some more kind of various purpose language, so it's more general language pretty much. So the idea was kind of like to just port the same logic into the Rust, so later the users can do this, later the people can use it in a various ways. Like they can maybe compile it to WebAssembly, use it in the web browser. They can like create some sort of SDK, so there is like nice JavaScript for that. And yeah, so pretty much so anybody can just like create some sort of maybe even off-chain approach of like creating a proof in stone in the client side, later verify this, so this can be also put into service. And also like when we have this verifier as a primitive, as a module, as a single repo, other projects that wanna like connect with the world of Cairo VM can simply like just clone it and just integrate into their code base, as pretty much we did for Aligned a little bit. So like it's like plug and play implementation to just extend the capabilities of verifying the Cairo VM. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much the good introduction here.
Thank you guys. Yeah, very, very cool stuff. And if anyone in the audience was not following completely, like this is the kind of stuff that we want to help you all understand. So don't be shy to ask questions. I wanted to say something. So a question for Pia and Bartek, like what is left to complete for the verifier? Like would you say it's good to go already, or is there still a little bit of work needed? And
yeah. So till Lambda Hackweek last time, I am like currently maintaining the project and expanding these capabilities, because couple of enhancements during that time were developed, because it's like there was a dynamic layout introduced in the Cairo VM. The Cairo VM is composed of built-ins, like a precompiled. There is like a main control flow of the Cairo VM, and also this VM can have can have a built-ins, let's say, for calculating efficiently the Poseidon or Ketchuk. So there was like introduced another layout, so composition of built-ins, and it was introduced the dynamic layout. And this was like this is like a layout that can be flexible and adjusted to the user need. So it was the new enhancement, and the verifier, of course, needs to be capable of verifying that. So it was extended in this way. So pretty much it's more efficient to write any circuit now and prove it and verify it. And also there was like a new Stone version during that time. The Stone 5 upgraded to Stone 6. This is like really small change, but also it should be like added because simply the proofs weren't verifying. So yeah, so couple of enhancements during that time, and what is left to do, I guess right now everything is up to date. So only like the really minor parts, like enhancing, let's say, WebAssembly compatibility, but it's not really crucial. I guess it's if somebody wants to use it, it's ready to go. And yeah, the small enhancements will appear probably during the time passes. So, but it's operational. Like, yeah, in every part I can think of right now.
Amazing. Well, yeah, great work, guys. That's, again, really amazing contribution. Something I want to add about the hackathon for anyone here who's interested. We are a little bit more focused on apps in this hackathon, but that's not to say that if you are interested in making a contribution like this, developing a verifier, developing some like core tooling for Align, like SDKs, we really do want people to do that. So please, if this is something that interests you, message us. We'll see, we'll work with you to make sure that these things can go into production and that you are rewarded accordingly. So yeah, like very, very cool stuff. And sort of on that theme, Pia and Bartek, I was kind of curious, like, if you guys did have to build an app specifically using something in ZK, what are some ideas that you would be excited to work on? Or what are some things that you think people should try to build using ZK now that we can verify proofs very cheaply?
Yeah. If Pia, you have your own idea, please continue after me, but I can tell about one small thing. So it's kind of like a ticketing system. I will explain you how this works. So it's like when I go to some party, whatever, I just wanna go into it and like be verified that I am able to enter the entrance and, let's say, go enjoy. So the essentially, like, I wanna do this with zero knowledge. So the guy that is checking me doesn't know anything about me. And I'm just like preparing the proof on my own, let's say on my laptop, whatever, before the party starts. And later I just verify this. I have some sort of identification of this proof verification, let's say, I don't know, on Align or off-chain, whatever. And later I just show it to somebody and, okay, you can pass because you proven the eligibility to enter the event or party, whatever. This is kind of like ticketing system. This is what I kind of want to build soon, I guess, maybe. So, yeah. That's pretty much my idea, what I would try to explore. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I can continue. So, yeah, I've been thinking about like what kind of real world use case the ZK can bring up, like other than the blockchain, especially because I was curious, like, in the blockchain context, like we got a lot of like researches and a bit of like some directions that people agreeing on, like this is the good way to like use it. So yeah, so like things that I find it interesting is like, yeah, obviously like the kind of ZK passport related stuff, or the non-existing like application idea is more like something that we verify some very sensitive data. I think that's why the blockchain like context like ZK matters, because it's like financial data. But like in real world, there must be some there must be some like other categories of the sensitive data other than just financial ones. So like the data category that people don't want to like reveal directly, or like don't want like other like don't even want other third party to like kind of store it or like leak it. So
Yeah, probably
so
like
I guess
medical some conditions or whatever. Yeah, this is cool.
yeah, that kind of things also can be cool, like maybe like when you want to do some protest, like you have some like complaint, or like what like whistleblowing, or those kind of bits of a sensitive information. So I think we're basically wrapping this into the CK and then have an application to like help about just generate the proof and verify about your sensitive like confirmation, like you have that sensitive information, but like you would not link to your own identity or something. That can be helpful, but like still it's more like exploration. I'm also like ideationing.
Yeah. Also, one sensitive approach would be to like have a you are voting for something that is really on the edge of, let's say, this is like really strong opinions of people they have, so you can like you want to vote, you want to keep your privacy, you want to maintain that you are not identified by any way, but still you want to prove that you are able to vote, and so that's where ZK can come in. So I don't leak my identity, but I contributed to the, let's say, number goes up by 1 because I voted. So yeah, this is also the good stuff.
Yeah, these are all use cases of ZK that I've been pretty excited about, and one of the sort of basic examples that people like to write about a lot would be like, say you need to prove that you're at least 18 years old to buy alcohol, but you don't want to tell the bouncer or the person in the store your actual birthday or exactly how old you are. You just need to prove this information that they can then verify. And I think that's sort of what you guys are talking about. But this, of course, expands to all sorts of things. You could like prove that you are connected to the internet from a specific IP address in a specific country, or that your bank account has some amount of money. Like you have at least this much money in your bank account, but you don't want to reveal exactly what that number is. So yeah, very cool ideas. Thank you both for sharing. I have one more question for you both, which is if you have any tips or advice for folks who are building online, using this hackathon. I think you guys are both very experienced developers and hackers. If you have any wisdom to impart on everyone, we'd love to hear it.
Like the hacking specifically, or like hacking on a line specifically? Like
both on a line specifically, but also just general wisdom if you have any. I feel like that'd be also very valuable.
Yeah. Because the wisdom will be applied to like more like both every general case, like basically about hacking. Because at the time, like what we hacked was a few months ago. And yeah, we were trying to like find a way to like run it, and then I think we noticed that like there in the README there's the instructions that we could run the Align network locally, but that the instruction was like overridden like few commits later. And yeah, those kind of like just like make it generalized. Maybe perhaps during the hackathon there is some like small details that you might miss, like some of the instructions are not working, or like some of the like readmes or have a little bit confusion. I think in the case, like in our case, we got help from the Maro a lot, like asking for the people who are like knowledgeable, like Align layer have a lot of people that could like help on those kind of stuff, would be really helpful to like go breakthrough. And while that we try to like share our ideas so that we could basically fastly get the intuition of how we could connect this with the Align without going through too much like trial and errors during the hackathon times, because like usually hackathon times you need to like save the time. So yeah, basically TLDR, I think ask for people's help, like to reduce the to make a fast iteration on. Yeah, I think that is one of the things that I wanted to share.
Thank you, Pia. Yeah, I mean, so this hackathon that we're running is actually going on for like the whole month. So this advice I think is still very relevant, specifically that please ask for help. We are using this as well to improve our documentation and the developer experience for building on Align. So your feedback is really important, and we're trying to get to know people who are building using Align. So yeah. How about you, Bartek? Do you have anything to add?
I don't know. It's like, yeah, making some sort of basic relationship with the hosts of the hackathon is something that can really help you. You know, as we did with like we approached Mauro. We knew Mauro before, but still, it was like super good to reach him, and he found a little bit of time to actually show us how to run this thing. So we were able to like a little bit develop in Go. Yeah. So let's say also, yeah, for me essentially like Go is the language I don't really use much, but the general advice is to learn a little bit of everything, and like see it's not a problem right now to, let's say, see any sort of like, I don't know, tutorial or any sort of like article about different languages you don't really know, but they are like everything exactly essentially is pretty much like easy to learn. It's not a problem to go to the different language now. And yeah, so this sort of like basic connections with hosts, I guess really beneficial, and will allow you to move forward and in the right direction. This is the most important thing. Yeah. And also it's good to exchange ideas. Try to ask if your idea is even a good way to do, or it's like it can be enhanced during the conversation, like or even there is like a situation when you are trying to build some sort of big project, and let's say lots of preliminaries for you are already done for you. And it can be like also good to reach for those information. Yeah, so communication is really important. Like this is really good advice to do, like on the start, straight from the start. Yeah.
Amazing. I like that this is the advice you guys are giving, because that's really what we're trying to do since it's a virtual hackathon. We have a channel here in Discord where you're welcome to share ideas and discuss things. And as well as the Telegram chat, we're really monitoring this closely to help everyone out. And you both mentioned Mauro, who is our head of engineering. In the coming days, maybe even today, he is going to be recording sort of like workshop demo showing people how to use Aligned, how to use different features and tools, and where to find information that we'll be sharing more widely, just to help people understand how to use it better if it's not totally clear. So we usually wrap up with a sort of like AMA. We have this forum that a lot of you have submitted questions to, and we hope that you'll keep submitting questions to, just about Align and what we're doing. And we will get to that with Diego in a second. But because we didn't have time to update the slides, but we have a couple of hackers who are currently working on stuff in the hackathon that are waiting, who I'm going to invite to speak on the stage. Just to share like a little bit about what they're building to help you all get some more ideas for some possibilities. So Izette, I just added you, and Geeny had a problem with her computer, so I am making sure. Okay, and it's Yasin as well. Yasin, if you can request as well, I can add you as a speaker.
Hello, do you hear me?
Loud and clear. Thank you for joining. Nice to meet you.
Okay, I will introduce my hackathon project. Hello everyone, it's great to be here. My name is Emre. I'm excited to share my project for Aligned Layer Hackathon, which focus on cross-chain lending using zero-knowledge proofs. My project is about creating cross-chain lending protocol utilizing different ZK proof systems like Kimchi, Plonk, KZG. With Align Layer, users can use collateral from various networks to borrow on Ethereum, making their unused tokens productive. The key advantage of Align Layer is providing a cheaper way to verifying proof beyond the Ground 16, making cross-chain zero-knowledge proofs lending efficient and scalable. I have this kind of introduction. If you have any questions, I can explain more. For example, you are landing Mina on Mina, then you can borrowing S Mina or Ethereum from Ethereum or any layer 2. Without a night layer, it's very expensive because you can't verify kimchi proof on Ethereum directly. You need to convert it to Gross 16, and you can prove it. With this condition, it costs you at least $80, I think, but Aligned Layer make it more cheaper. So you can use Aligned Layer as a bridge, is zero knowledge bridge, so you can take your proof another chain and verify it on Ethereum. So that's the main idea.
Very, very cool stuff. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of this cross-chain bridging using ZK and connecting this with DeFi is another exciting use case of ZK stuff that we are hoping to enable with very cheap verification. So, Emery, thank you for sharing. Yeah, that sounds very cool. Excited to see what you build. And thank you again for joining on stage. It's nice to meet you.
Thanks.
And I'm sure we'll talk a lot more soon. Also, nice shirt. It looks like, is that the aligned white paper shirt? Yeah. We love it.
Damla.
Excellent. Yes. Well done, Damla. I think Damla made that. Yeah. Damla's on stage as well. She's our very talented designer. Okay, Emery, thank you. I'm going to try to get Yasin on stage quickly. Let's see if I can share a link. Oh, no. Okay. It's getting blocked, but I think in the hackathon channel. No. I see. We have a bit of a problem with a very eager bot and settings that are where can I get back to the community call? That are okay, it worked. I see. So Yasin just asked me to share this, and Yasin, I can bring you on stage if you're able to chat, but I guess this is what you're working on. I haven't actually opened the link because I've been managing the community call. But if you make a request, I can bring you up. And this is what was sent on GitHub. Yes, his typing. Sneeze return proof if works. Let's zoom in here. We can see this a bit better. I guess it'd be better if we could. Oh, I guess this is a technical question. Yes, and so I'm gonna say let's take this conversation to the hackathon channel in the Discord, and we can chat about it some more because I don't want to keep everyone too long. If you want to come up and tell us about your idea and what you're building, I'd be happy to bring you on stage. You just need to request the sort of invite. I don't know if I can invite you directly. But just to keep the community call rolling along, and just to wrap things, I want to get back to our slideshow and just highlight a couple of the cool questions that we got from the community over the past little bit, and invite Diego to answer them. So remember, if you guys have questions, please send them in. There's a form linked in the actual events that we put on Discord, and we share it on Twitter as well. It's the same link every time, so I'd like to hear your questions. So yeah, Diego, how does Align ensure that fast mode maintains low latency while offering such high throughput compared to Ethereum? Are there any trade-offs developers should be aware of? So basically, how is it that Align can be fast and scalable compared to Ethereum? How does it compare? And then what's the trade-off?
Well, yeah, the advantage is we are not running on top of the EVM, so we don't have any of the constraints that you have there. So we can leverage parallelization. We run the code natively on top of the CPU, okay? We can optimize the code for speed. So really the throughput can be as large as you like. We want to show that this is indeed the case. We tried it on testnet, and we could do over 4,000 proofs with the operators, 10,000 proofs on a devnet, so it's possible to achieve this very high throughput. Of course, the only trade-off is that, well, you're not getting the verification by all the validators in Ethereum, but you are getting it by a subset. And for many applications, this can be more than enough, for example, to perform bridging or doing like some other application.
Amazing. Thank you, Diego. Yeah, like our fast mode that'll be launching soon is an eigenlayer AVS. So we have Ethereum validators running as nodes that do the verification. So the security actually comes directly from Ethereum. It's not like all of Ethereum, but it's still billions of ETH sort of on the line that they're committing to get slashed if they don't do the verification properly. So that's just a reminder, a little technical note. Another question. Let's see. What sorts of dApps or industries do you see benefiting from Align's verification layer? Are there any examples of partnerships already in place? We have talked about a few today, like Mina, of course. But Diego, any in particular that you're very excited about?
No, I think that bridges are going to be something really easy to build with Aligned. You're also going to have like cheap and fast CK machine learning. Then you can also, by working with some other protocols, maybe have like something like CK-TLS. Maybe some other applications related to rollups will become easier. Of course, then, for example, you can leverage the power from Herodotus, because verifying their proofs is going to be really cheap in Align. So you start getting lots of use cases. As always, we're really excited about all the applications we cannot foresee right now. And the cost of deploying CK applications is negligible. So people will start finding ways using this technology that guarantees integrity, many different protocols, making applications more secure, decentralized. So we expect to see many new things being created and developed in these months and years to come.
Yes, Diego, love it. And that's, like Diego said, this is why we're pour money into hackathons and education, because there's so much stuff that this makes possible, and we need your help building it. So keep coming to these community calls and engaging and talking to us so we know what you're excited about. Okay. Can you explain the mission of Aligned and how it differentiates itself in the current blockchain landscape?
No, the mission of Aligned is to provide cheap and fast verification for not only CK proofs, but also for other applications, for example, or integrity things like TEs, and thus enable the creation of new decentralized applications. So remember that CK is the only way you can add new machines to a blockchain and make it faster. Okay, because you can move the execution off chain and then verify the proofs on chain, and that way you keep the same guarantees as in the blockchain. Okay, so that's where we fit in, and with this we enable lots of applications, and also to reduce the fragmentation that we experience Web3 spaces. Okay, with this we can expect to get smoother user experience also.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you, Diego. Yeah, accelerating Ethereum's roadmap and the adoption of ZK is really what we're trying to enable. Again, so we can build better technology with more integrity and create software that humanity needs ultimately, I think. Okay, and I think we have one or two more questions. This one's about TEEs, trusted execution environments, and the question is how these are integrated in Aligned, and what are the advantages of TEEs here?
Okay, so in the case of TEs, with TEs, what you get is attestation of the correctness of the execution, and what we do in aligned is just verify it, similar to what we do with CK proofs. All the validators, what they do is they receive the attestation, they are going to check the attestation, and if we all agree, then, or the majority agrees, then we are going to post saying this attestation is valid. Okay, and the advantage of verifying them in aligned is that you're going to get it cheaper. You are not going to have to do any kind of wrapping or complicated thing to use your TEs, which of course can hurt, for example, your latency. And the good thing about TEs is that they are useful to deal with some things that CK is not really good at, because maybe it's like too expensive to do with CK or even slow. And it also offers another interesting thing, which is the idea of multi-proving. So we have like some protocols that have been, in addition to using ZK, using TEs, okay, as a way of having a second mechanism to check that computations are being done properly. So that's why we are really excited about TEs. And I think that CK and TEs in some aspects can complement each other.
Yes, this goes back to what Diego mentioned a second ago about aligned acting like an integrity layer for Ethereum and for blockchains, and non-ZK trusted execution, verifiable computation is also part of that. And I think that's our last question about optimistic solutions dominating the market. I guess this is sort of more related to roll-ups, perhaps, but maybe a good opportunity to comment on why we think ZK is the future.
Okay, yeah. So the idea is that CK, what it allows us is to scale blockchains with the same guarantees and not depending on some other trust assumptions, okay? And the good thing about CK proofs is that basically what you do is, instead of re-executing code, you just verify these proofs. And the good thing is that these proofs can contain, in principle, very large computations. So we think that part of the problems we had with CK, which was like having to write complicated circuits and all that, have been reduced. The verification cost will also go down, and so there is no. It doesn't make sense to use other solutions if CK is already fast to prove the verification cost is negligible, because you are not introducing any other kind of assumptions or anything, and it's the way you can scale blockchains without compromising these guarantees. So I think that even optimistic rollups will develop and add CK on their stack, because CK offers very good guarantees. Basically, what CK does is it tells you that something was done properly, even if you weren't checking it or looking at how it was performed, because then you receive the proof, you can check it, and if it's true, then it was very likely that the computation was done properly. So remember, if costs of CK are going down and proving is easy, then it makes sense to use this technology and incorporate it into your application because of the extra guarantees you're going to get.
Thank you, Diego. Yeah. ZK, yeah, we really think that it's kind of going to be the dominant way to do, obviously, rollups and things on blockchains, but also more generally, non-Web3 computation is probably going to use a lot of ZK in the future. We're pretty bullish on this idea, which again is part of why we're doing everything we're doing at Aligned. So I think I just want to move things along and be mindful of time. So that was the last slide, but actually Yasin, who is one of the hackers who's building something for the hackathon right now, is asking some questions in the chat here. And Diego, I don't know if you have an answer for this in here right now. Sort of asking about about a game in the App Store. If you have some thoughts on this.
Yeah, it depends on the complexity of the program you want to prove. For some applications, maybe it's easy and you can, for example, create a simple circuit for Genarch, or if you have the code in Rust or something else, of course, you could use a Rust prover. We are also looking for a way to help you like connect with prover networks or something to help you like generate and start this application. And then it will be like, whether it makes sense for you to actually use the prover network, or you can simplify your design. But I think that for the hackathon, you are going to have like some support from our side or partners to help you deploy these applications. We want people to actually use CK and show that this is the way forward. So we are going to try to provide you as much support as we can so that you can develop your application and deploy it on Aligned or use Aligned.
Yeah. And like for Yasin's question specifically in the chat, I mean, he's asking if there's Swift support for this, or this is only Rust. Yeah, like I think if the game's already in the App Store or it's written in Swift, I mean, it wouldn't be able to run in like the SP1 or RISC-0 ZK VMs for sure. So you need a different way to generate proofs of what's happening in the game. And I don't know enough to confidently answer this, but my hunch is no, there isn't support for Swift. So you'd probably have to rewrite the game in Rust, I guess, which I'm guessing is not super straightforward. Diego's adding some more information in there. And again, Yasin, like in the hackathon channel, we can discuss this in a lot more detail. And we can get some feedback from the engineers who can definitely give you a better answer. And Diego's answering another question from Uno del Publico, saying, is it possible to generate proofs at application level, for example, in a cell phone, and then verify them application level or on chain? And yeah.
Yeah, basically the thing is, right now client-side proving doesn't work really easy for any kind of applications, because maybe some applications are like too expensive to run on a cell phone. But then you have this idea of the prover networks where you can delegate the proving to some third party, and then of course you can check that the proof is valid, so you know that they've run the program properly and everything. And then, well, we can expect that in the coming years, for sure, they will improve the CKVMs so that they are like less memory intensive and faster. And maybe then you will be able to prove like more complex things in your cell phone or even in a laptop. So remember that a few months ago, we had this release of Circle Starks showing that you could prove like 600,000 Poseidon 2 hashes in Mac M3, which is consumer and hardware. So we can expect that there will be like several developments over the next few years to make proving on the client side, at least for some applications, possible. If not, you could always rely on these prover networks, which try to target this problem you're going to have, since you're not likely to have, I don't know, a GPU or something to delegate the computation there. So
yeah, thank you, Diego. Yeah, ZK is moving super fast. Like ZK VMs are such a new thing, so I think we're only starting to scratch the surface of what this enables. Again, this way we have the hackathon. We have another question from Emery asking if we support kimchi proofs now.
Right now, we are still finishing things on the bridge, and then they have to merge that. I think that we can talk and see if we can add a specialized verifier, because for the bridge they had to develop different verifiers, one that has to handle the verification of kimchi proofs plus the consensus. If you want to deploy just a kimchi proof, then we need to incorporate the verifier. I will check with the team, but be interesting to have that. And also with the bridge, maybe you can just generate the proof in Mina, do something in Mina, and then bridge the result to Ethereum. So I'm going to talk with the team to see what's the best way forward.
Thanks, Diego. Yeah. The last thought I wanted to finish up with, just back to client-side proving and how ZK is evolving. I mean, yeah, I think that we are going to see a future not too far from now where you can generate proofs, all sorts of different proofs for different things on your phone, on your computer, in ZK VMs. And you'll be able to verify all of them on a line because we'll be able to support the verification of all of these proofs. And the idea that I wanted to leave you all with here today is just that by verifying using Line and putting this verification on Ethereum, now it's available on this shared global state that anybody can permissionlessly access from anywhere, anytime, ideally forever. We'll see. But as far as data layers that I feel are going to be around for a very long time, Ethereum is where I'm willing to put my money. Not financial advice. That's a figurative statement, but yeah, that's a little bit behind everything we're building. And with that, I'm just going to thank everyone once again for joining. It's great having you here. Please leave us some feedback in Discord or wherever else you can reach us, Telegram, to hear about what kinds of things you want to get out of these calls. We do want to try to make this into more of like an educational space as well. So please give us some feedback, submit your questions. Diego, thank you for being here. Geeny was really the force organizing all this. She had some technical difficulties, so she got disconnected. But shout out to Geeny and others from our team like Suda and Damla who were helping out. And of course, Pia and Bartek, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for your insights, for hacking on the line. It was great to have you, and looking forward to seeing you sometime soon.
Yeah, really thank you for hosting us, and see you again soon.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone.